Today is a 1-year anniversary in SCUM, and I decided to make a video where we're gonna go over all of the major changes. I'm not gonna talk about how they fixed grass in the garage and how game actually developed. Without any further ado, let's go back in time in the August 29th, 2018. As soon as SCUM went live, servers were under heavy DDoS attacks and they were flooded with cheaters. So if you never touched SCUM, since then you have a really bad memories. On the 2nd of September, developers did added anti-cheat system in the game. The first week of SCUM was probably a living shit show in the Gamepires office. And at September 5th, 2018, we're getting the first patch where they actually started to add new stuff. Before this patch, every single time when you enter inside of a single player, there was no saving option, but developers did add the option. They also added a new Sentry voice. Before this patch, Sentry voice was actually humanoid voice, now it is actual robotic voice. And they also did enable the admin commands for the single player so people can actually test out stuff. And then 2 days later, at September 7th, 2018, they added the improvised step-proof vest in the game. They also added the search sounds for the various items. On the September 14th, they have also added auto walk feature. There are still people that are playing SCUM at this very day that they do not know about this command, so there you go, Shift plus W is gonna make your character to auto walk. They have also added the ability for the puppets so they can damage you while you're prone in crouch. They have also added 2 new chests, and of course every single chest has more and more inventory slot, although you're gonna need more and more survival skill to craft those. On the September 18th, SCUM developers announced that they surpassed 1 million copies sold, and every single player with the Founders Edition had a chance to poop out the golden deagle. They added 2 different versions of a deagle. They added a caliber .357. They have added .50 deagle in the game. And also supporters got a really nice wristwatch. They increased server tick rate. They have added line of distance for the silo factory and hangar to chimney bridge. They disabled prisoner visibility hiding in a first-person view. As you can see, it will not pop out and in anymore. It is gonna be fluid. On the September 28th, 1 month later, we actually got a really big patch. We got the improvised handgun and improvised shotgun. Improvised handgun is using .50 AE caliber ammo, and improvised shotgun is of course using 12 gauge ammo. We have also got the improvised mask that made a lot of controversy between the certain news sources just because they are made out of the human skin, of course. They have also added the separate NVGs in the game. Before this patch, NVGs were actually on the military helmets, but after this patch, they have made NVGs as a separate item, which means you do not need helmet to mount NVGs, and you won't have NVGs when you find the helmet. They have also added over 30 caves in the game scattered across the SCUM map. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. This is pretty much medium size one. They have added 6 different towns. They have boosted a line of distance for the factory, prison, refinery, and the airfield even more. As you can see, I'm standing around 3 kilometers far away. It does not look the best, but it is still visible. They redesigned the gunshot sound for the Kar 98 and the SVD. They have also added the keybinds for the basic gestures. They have also added new suicide animation, where your character is gonna actually pull out the BCU out of their head. On the October 19th, 2018, probably the most important one was that they upgraded the engine into the Unreal Engine 420. Also, they have added a blueprint system in the game, which is gonna give you holo effect with the blue or red, it depends if it is craftable or not. So you can place it anywhere on the map. Before this patch, every single item that you have crafted spawned randomly around your area. Right now, you can literally place any item on the exact position where you want to. And on top of that, because of that new blueprint system in the game, upon crafting a blueprint, some of the lighter blueprints can actually be transferred. so you can actually even readjust them later on. They have also added airdrops into the game. This is the first dynamic event that can occur on a map, a little bit different variation of the heli crash sites, although they are highly visible on a map where everyone can come at any point, anytime. Now, of course, every single administrator of the server, if you're running the private server, can adjust and readjust the time between the delays, how often they're gonna drop, when are they gonna self-destruct, and much more. We have also got the binoculars, so you can actually observe the area where you wanna go. They also added M16 in the game with, of course, 5.56 ammunition. This was a brand new caliber in the game. And they have also reworked the bulletproof vests, which means all of those step-proof and bulletproof vests have a different amounts of the energy absorption, and of course, they have also added it into the helmets. They have added a brand new location, naval base. This is by far the best PvP area that is currently in SCUM. They've added different scopes in the game, and each scope looks completely different. And of course, they have added ACOG, that is the first 4 times scope in a game. 2 weeks later, on November 2nd, they have also added bows and arrows. They have added basic archery, where you can make improvised bows and different arrows. Back then, archery was not that big of a deal, and it was not that advanced, but it was a placeholder and something temporary that they're gonna work on a little bit later. They have also gave us a couple of different animal heads. Currently, we can craft bear head, boar head, and the goat head. And if you ask me, they all look pretty amazing. And of course, if you do not like to wear those heads, you can always put them on stick to scare your opponent. You can also cut ears and teeth from your opponent's skull, and you can make a really nice, luxurious necklaces. And of course, the more teeth you collect, better looking jewelry you can create. In this patch, they have also added a penis size. The smaller your ding-dong is, more attribute points you're getting. The bigger your ding-dong is, less attribute points you're gonna have on your character, so pick wisely. And also, they have added 3 different instruments into the game: guitar, banjo, and the harmonica. And also, they have added drone in the game, so if you're admin of the server, or if you wanna explore with the drone in the actual single-player mode, you can do that. You can actually also shut down everything for the cinematic purposes, of course. That was the first and the last patch that month. SCUM developers actually expanded their development team by a lot. There was 6 of them up to that point. They have expanded the team on 30 members, and they had to move into the new office. This whole month was basically dead and silent just because they couldn't keep up with the patches and the hot fixes. But a month later, on December 7th, 2018, developers released a new patch notes. We have got a vehicles. First vehicle that has been implemented in the game was SUV in 4 different models. And also, this has been a really big thing because vehicles actually had their own storage space, which means it gave the players a literal moving chest. The another thing that they have added was capture the flag, with the basic classical capture the flag concept. When you steal the enemy flag, if you manage to bring that red flag back home, you got a score point, and whoever brings 3 flags home is a winner. They have also added MIDI keyboard support, which means if you have MIDI keyboard, you can play guitar, harmonica, or banjo on it. Also, they have added brand new Asval weapon in the game, with of course a brand new cartridge, 9x39mm, and this weapon was the first suppressed weapon that has been added in a game. They have also added a brand new point of interest on the map, Sawmill. And on top of all of that, since they have added capture the flag on the event, they also added Sawmill in one of the selected maps for the events. And also the second industrial point of interest that have been added in the game is of course Fish Factory on the opposite side of the map. The another cool thing that I have added in that patch is a swag. They added 4 different sunglasses in the game. and they have added a new male character in the game. They have also added real-time radiosity, and on top of all of that, they have added item virtualization, and this was the biggest performance boost yet in the game. Before this patch, every single time when you approached on a new point of interest, every single item has been loaded in your PC, despite the fact if you see it or not. Right now, when you search something, you can see two different highlighted items, a red one and green one. Green one means that item is virtualized, it is not loaded in your rig yet. And they have also added a separate colors for the local and the global chat. 1 week later, on December 14th, they have added a slider in the game where you can lower down your field of view on 60 or you can increase it all the way up on 100. And that gave a big quality of life adjustment, which gave us way better gaming experience. And on top of that, they also added depth of field. This is when depth of field is off, and this is when a depth of field is on high. On December 20th, they have added house fortification system in the game. Every single residential area, including military barracks, has become claimable. You were spending your hardly earned fame points to claim the doors, and then you were spending even more points on 3 different locks. They have also introduced thievery in the game, which of course gave up players the ability to lockpick into other people's bases. And of course, to fully protect your base, they also gave us 3 different tiers of the window fortifications. And of course, since that was the winter patch, they have covered almost 1/4 of the map. With the snow, they have added a brand new blueprint for the snowman and for the sledge. Although be careful where you're driving because there can be some really steepy cliffs out there. They have also added a brand new weather systems in the snowy regions, and on top of all of that, they also added emotes for even better immersion. I'm gonna actually show you the slider on this character because there is plenty of them to choose. And of course, to stay in the winter spirit, they have also added wheelie warmers so you are never cold. 3 different variations actually. On the February 15th, that greatly boosted the performance of the servers, and to be specific, they had problems with the doors, so they had to recode them, and we gained a massive boost up to 5 times, which is amazing. And they have also added 2 new weapons in the game, Mosin Nagant and the Block 21. And they have also added the option to refuel the fire. On the February 22nd, they have released a brand new point of interest quarry, north one and the south one, and on top of that we also got a new vehicle, SUV. It can carry up to 6 players, which means driver plus 5 passengers. On the March 8th, they released a new point of interest, coal mine. Now this doesn't seem that big of a point of interest from outside, but when you actually enter inside, you can see that this point of interest has multiple levels and it is going deep underground. Now developers actually made the really nice preview how big the underground is and also how deep it is. And also they have added a brand new shotgun, M1887, which is a lever action shotgun. And also they have enhanced how SUVs actually look like. On top of that, they have also reworked vehicle handling. They have reworked lockpicking, so it is a little bit harder. And also they have added over 20 islands on the map that are completely explorable and reachable. 1 week later, they have added birds into the game. And yes, you can shoot them. And yes, you can chop them and you can cook them. March 29th, developers released improved improvised advanced archery system in a game that requires its own skill system. And I'm not talking about just bows and arrows. They have added different draw weight bows with the different models. They have added the attachments for the bows. They have added different quivers with the different arrows. And if you haven't checked out in-depth archery video, I'm gonna definitely recommend you to watch this one because the depth of the certain features in the game is just mind-blowing. They have also added a red dot sight into the game. And they also gave us the icons in the hotbars when we are selecting fire mode on a different automatic weapons. They also gave us damage indicator, which means when you are bleeding, you're gonna get the icon on the right side of your HP indicator that you are bleeding. And back then in March, when you died in a PvP, spawning on a teammates was a really big problem because they gave us the ability to remove that option or set the custom timers, so it is a little bit harder to spawn on a teammates. And on top of all of that, server owners can select how much fame are you gonna spend to spawn, which gave us a great PvP balance. They also gave us underwater caves, which are even harder to find than the actual caves. And a lot of those caves are actually not even reachable at this point just because we still do not have scuba diving equipment. Although they are in the game and they're gonna be a really interesting place to hide your stuff. They have also added beanies with a bunch of different colors. Supporter pack owners also gained new action whistle. They nerfed respawn on squad mates even more, and also they've nerfed lockpicking even more because right now every single fail in lockpicking is gonna reduce your fame by 1. On the April 5th, they added driving skill in the game. They've also added radio in the game. And of course, vehicles also have the radio now. They have also added 32 different World War II bunkers that are gonna spawn military loot. They do not look all the same, they are not copy-paste. And it is not just that they added different commands, they have also added different keybinds for them so you can use them on fly. They've also reworked how loot spawns. They have made rare loot actually rare. They made common items common. And of course super rare items super rare. They've added the Logitech LED illumination. And in this patch they have fixed chests in the rocks. For those of you that haven't played, it was possible to drag the chests inside of the rock. Now that is impossible. And even if it is possible, it is going to be impossible for you to find those chests just because of how vicinity works. On the April 18th, 2019, they have added a bunch of different achievements, and they have added upgraded version of the M16, MK18, and they have also added Holo V3 sight in the game. Up to this point, shelters were the only thing that let you respawn, but they have also added improvised beds, so you can pick and choose that suits your needs. In this patch we have also gained a brand new point of interest in a game, Sanitarium, which gave us of course a brand new assets into the game, and admins that are using drone can actually see the drone on their map while they are flying. 2 weeks later, May 3rd, they've added another brand new point of interest into the game, Observatory. This area is again with brand new assets and again another industrial area. They've also added a brand new type of the event, Primal, although be careful with your archery skill of course. They have also added 4 different variations of the quad. This is the 3rd drivable type of a vehicle in the game. And yes, you guessed it, only 2 people can drive on the quad at the same time. They have also revamped cooking in the game. And by the way, be careful where you're putting your meat because temperature does matter. Up to this point, every single item looked fresh new. Now they actually added item degradation system in the game. They added even more achievements in the Steam library. And also, they made sniping even harder. Now you're gonna actually have to pay closer attention where the wind blows and how. Wind does affect the bullet travel. On the May 24th, we got the another patch notes. We have got a brand new weapon in the game, M82, anti-material 50 cal sniper rifle in 4 different variations: snow, black, silver and desert, with of course a matching scopes. Fun fact, when you're going in a prone animation, your bipod is gonna automatically be attached and you won't lose any stamina. They gave vehicles a brand new shaders so they look used. It is not just that they added different diving masks, so your image is not as blurry as without of the mask. And the reason why they gave us the diving mask is because they expanded and added underwater flora, and on top of that they have also added a brand new shipwrecks. As far as I'm aware, they added 15 different shipwrecks to explore. This is not the only thing that they added in the game, they also added the brand new animation for the head explosions. And they have also rebalanced rate of fire of MK18 and M16. On the June 7th, they added another new point of interest in the game, Castle Ruins, a place with the increased chance of bow and arrow spawns. And this is the biggest patch where they added a bunch of different weapon attachments in the game for all different kinds of the weapons. They have added different sights in the game, universal and weapon specific. They have added improvised suppressors that can be crafted from different cans and water bottles. They have also added improvised rails that are universal and can be attached on any weapon. And they have also added manufactured suppressors for the specific weapons. There is a lot to talk about the improvised rails and the suppressors, but they have also added player statistics so you can clearly see all of your progression on the certain servers. And on top of all of that, they have also added the ability so you can adjust it once when you select the toolbox and the compound bow, you can adjust draw weight. On the June 21st, they have added female characters in the game with 3 different characters. And of course, since male characters have a penis size, females have a breast size. And yes, you guessed it, those beautiful creatures have their own physics. And yes, you guessed it, they kinda cannot take a pee while standing. But the biggest thing that this patch gave us is of course base building, so they can protect their stuff even more than before. A fun fact, before this patch, popular servers were reaching 25,000 items spawned peak. After base building patch, after this patch, popular servers are reaching 125,000 items spawned per day. And also they gave us a function to carry wooden logs. The another thing that they have added in this patch is completely reworked inventory management. They have added a filter option right on top. In between filters and items in the vicinity, you're gonna also have all of the storages. And also they have added beards and hair that you can shave and cut in a different lengths. And in this patch, we finally got the option to repair our vehicles, because up to this point, like I already said, vehicles were unrepairable. We also got the first iteration of the missions in the game, and the first missions that have been added in the game are tutorials.
Welcome to the basic survival simple crafting tutorial.
And they do have a full voiceover. They have also enabled save zones, and they mark them on a map, which means other players cannot take damage in. And also they have added the first enterable building that is functional, and it is Disco. They have also added a new point of interest, another Castle Ruins, which is even bigger than the one that we have seen previously before, that has a really nice pound in the middle. On the July 5th, they released a little bit bigger hotfix. They drastically nerfed crafting recipe for the ammunition, and they increased the material costs Before this patch, every single person could craft the bullets, but right now, you need to be next to the drill press with the advanced survival skill. They have also reworked melee combat, weapon type, blunt or sharp. They all have a different stats, and also, if you have enough skills, there is a chance of a knockback. They have also added a flag system in a game, so you can claim your own bases, and upon destruction of the flag, enemy base can be claimed. On the July 11th, with a bunch of bug fixes and quality of life additions, they have also added 5 new furnitures into the game. And then on July 26th, a new patch arrived, where they added the announcement system for the admins on the private servers. They also added a brand new feature where you can actually wash your clothing, and the only thing that is required is soap. And they have also added a borderless mode. On the August 2nd, they have added the God mode for the owners of the servers, so they can build without of any material consumption. And I do see that there is a lot of people that actually do not know how to do that. You need to type in the chat set God mode true or false. They have also added yoga pants with the different textures, and yes, you guessed it right, they are fitting both male and female. They have also added 3 new blueprints for the target practice. And of course, my favorite, they added 280 animations for different weapons, which means the weapons now have sway, the weapons are moving when you are moving. They have also added parallax effect on the scopes, and I'm not gonna go way too into that because I already made an in-depth video about that topic. But the only thing that I will say is that feeling in the combat feels much more intense and rewarding. On the August 9th, they have added a brand new wall for the base building with a hole, so you can actually defend your base with a strategical approach. They have also added 4 blueprint signs. They added the option under the options where you can disable or enable your kill notifications and the announcements. And one of the key quality of life additions in that patch was that they readjust the explosion damage to the base elements. They have enabled base raiding with the grenades while we are waiting for the RPGs. There is the insane amount of the quality of life improvements that I didn't even touch, because this video would be even longer, but today is 29th of August 2019, 1 year of the early access in SCUM, and we are expecting a big patch today. We are celebrating on twitch.tv/Eroktic. Feel free to tune in. Let's see what developers will bring us to the table today. I'm proud that I'm covering SCUM because it is the best survival game out there. Yes, it has its own problems, but the developers are capable and they will fix those problems. If you're planning to play SCUM, I would strongly recommend you to play on 50 slot servers until they fix a player rubber banding on the servers that have more than 50 players, and we can expect that patch in the near future. I hope that you guys enjoyed in this journey with me. Consider with subscribing if you're interested in more of a SCUM content. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Eroktic out.